All right, day 2, headed out, sitting in the last money spot, but I don't have any fish left. So we're gonna search for new areas today, probably at some point. I'm gonna run the stuff I fished yesterday first and go from there. We'll see what happens. On my way back to the spillway where I was on day 1, I caught my biggest fish. I couldn't resist throwing in this little current seam where I caught 3 fish the day before. It was good for 1 fish, wasn't very big. I'll cull this fish out later, but a great way to get the day started.
Good God, eat it. Didn't fucking eat it.
The Crosse has a variety of species of fish. You never know what you're going to get when you set the hook. This time we got a bowfin. I got current coming down to me right here. I see a brush pile. Throw the frog over just to see what happens. Here's a look at the bait that I'll use for the next series of catches. I picked this up at H2 Outdoors. It also landed my biggest fish on day 1, that 19¼ inch smallmouth. You'll see me catch several fish up at the spillway. I stayed up there probably a little bit too long. I culled a 1/4 inch here, an inch there. I actually culled 7 times on day 2, caught several other fish that I didn't even measure and just threw back in the water. But here's a look. I edited this down best I could at some of the fish that I caught up at the spillway. I was focusing on the little spots where the current was running in. There was a bit of a ledge there. I could pull this crawl off, and if the fish were there, they were going to grab it. A little bit of challenge with the video here. I actually had a bigger fish right before this jump off. Looked to be about a 20-inch largemouth, but hey, this was number 5 and gave me a little bit of confidence to keep things going. Reviewing the video as I edited it, I didn't realize these next 4 catches are all back-to-back-to-back-to-back casts. You can see the benefits of the autopilot. I'm actually spot locked down here in some pretty heavy current, was able to stay there for a long period of time and caught several fish in the same spot. At this point, I'm just going through 13-incher, 14-incher, 12-incher. Every once in a while, I'm picking up a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch or an inch and just kind of culling through the day here. This is a pretty good look at the spillway here. In practice, I was throwing when that main water was coming in there with a chatterbait and caught a lot of fish that way, but during the actual event, it seemed they wanted to be just off the current, a little bit more in the slack water. I did fish some of that heavier current during the event, but just didn't have the same luck as I was over there on that ledge on the left. This is actually about an hour and a half later between catches. I ran down and fished some of that frog area where I'd done good the day before on those flats. Gave that a go, didn't have any luck, so came back and ended up finding another good one here. All right, 15 inches. I tell you, these river fish are really strong. You get them in that current, get some eelgrass around you. You get a little nervous with 6-pound line, but I was able to land this one. That's what we needed, baby. That's what we need. All right, good one there. After catching several fish that couldn't help me, you'll see me switch it up just to give the fish a different look. This is a drop shot here. Just wanted to see if maybe I could trigger a bigger bite, but again, these were smaller fish as well. It's a telltale sign that a fish isn't going to cull when you see me put that net back down on the deck of the kayak. Another small one here. We're starting to run out of time, and I know by looking at the leaderboard, fishing's actually better on day 2, so I'm going to have to think about making a move. This is going to be the last one that'll land up at the spillway. Gave me a good fight, had me thinking it was a lot bigger than what it was, but couldn't help me. I'm going to leave the spillway here. I got 2 15-inch fish, 1 16-inch fish, and I'm leaving thinking I got to go find 2 more 16-inchers. I was just floating down the current here, punching holes, and I actually saw a fish go by the kayak and stop right below me. Saw him and caught him, baby. Saw him and caught him. Can't help me. Well, this is one of those beware of your surroundings moments. I hear something to my left and look down. I seen a pretty large snake. Not exactly sure what type it was, but I wasn't going to stick around, so I slowly grabbed the paddle and make my way on down that current seam to the left. If you've never been to La Crosse, this shows really how pretty the place is. There's lots of spots like this that have current seams and 6 to 12 inches of water that will hold fish. It's pretty cool, perfect for a kayak, and lots of fun. That fish didn't even wait on the frog to settle before it struck. My reaction was about the same, and you saw that fish went flying across. Hey, when you're geared up for those big ones and to pull them through the vegetation, those little ones go flying across the boat. Can't help me. Not help. Be a bass. Please 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 be a bass. Please. Hell yeah. Damn, I needed it. Maybe a 16. I got a chance, I think, to get back in the money now. Maybe. This fish was 16 inches on the dot. I felt like I just needed one more of those to move into that last money spot, so I go on the hunt. Man, you need one good fish, you set the hook on a frog fish, and it turns out to be a pike. Hey, we're going to still cover some water and see what we can find. You want an example of what not to do? Watch my hands right here. Oh my God. That blow up on that frog and that pontoon sure sounded like the fish I needed. I tell you, my hands were out of position. I set the hook, and that fish was strong enough it almost pulled the pole right out of my hands. This was a cool little spot. There's actually a bar up above me to the left. I've been chatting with some folks. They were watching me fish. These kids were trying to catch some brim over there on the bank. Just a cool little spot. People at La Crosse are pretty awesome. I tell you, it's a good place to visit. Now, I'll be honest with y'all here. I don't know if I had a fish and the fish got hung in the grass, or if the bait got hung in the grass and me trying to wiggle it out, I caught a fish. But either way, it was pretty cool. Little smallmouth here. Couldn't help me, but still fun to catch. It can't help, but you know.
I think that's the one we saw earlier. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the one I saw right over. What big is it?
13 inches. 13 inches. I need one over 15. There's 5 minutes left, and I'm still searching for one bite. Need one fish over 16 inches. Please be big. Be big. You ain't big. All right. Well, that's a wrap for day 2. I tell you, I had a good time, caught a lot of fish, as you could see, especially on the second day. Just couldn't find the size I needed. I'm sure I finished just outside the money, probably in the top 20. They paid 13 places. I'm sure probably about 16th or so. We'll see as everybody submits. But thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time. Ended up in 22nd place on this event. That dropped me down to 8th for Angler of the Year. Still having a good season, sitting inside the top 10. I tell you, I caught a lot of fish on that jig that I picked up at H24 Outdoors. Y'all go down there and see James. Stay tuned to the channel, and we'll throw up the next adventure soon.